this job has evolved and evolved and evolved, and there's more and more plaster that needs doing. So they've now gone all the way down and then all the way back. So that was discovered underneath the insulation. So I haven't messed about with the tape or anything like that. Hello, welcome to the rewire that is never ending. It is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So today I am in the loft, hopefully for the last time. Okay, so today we have got such a busy site, it's ridiculous. I've got the decorators here, they are here, I know. House isn't finished, got the decorators in. Why wouldn't we roll that way? So they're in, so they're down the far end in that room. We've also got Sean, Jack and Lewis here. Thank God they've got rained off on the other job, so I've got them back here because they're going to get on with some plastering, so they're prepping up the lounge. So then that will mean once the lounge is done, we've then got two places for the customers to escape to. So that is it. So brilliant. So I have had obviously some amazing response for the last video I've just done, and it was all to do with this basket that we've put in. So I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give you my full rundown of what I think of the basket towards the end of the video. Thank you very much for all the support, and for those of you who have already shared the video like I asked, if you can share it, that would be amazing, because I just want to see whether that helps the algorithm for everything. That would be absolutely wicked. And if you are brand new to this channel and you haven't yet subscribed, also it will really mean the world to me if you can subscribe to the channel as well. The link is in one of the corners. That would be wonderful. So I am in the loft, and I'm now starting to sort stuff out. So in here, so we've got all the basket and all the rest of it. So I'd like to point out this lot here that leads up into like alarm and DVR and all the rest of it. I can't do anything with that. That's nothing to do with me. That is down on for those companies who are doing that. But this is what they're doing. So how we've got it is we've got our basket that runs down there because the board is sort of that direction. Then it leads back all the way down here, and I've used the basket almost, sorry about that, almost as like the spine of the house. And it's the first time doing it this way, I'll be honest with you, first time, but let's go through. I'm going to try and start neatening it up because I don't need to put any more cables in. We're going to start neatening all these up all the way back through. So let's jump down that end and sort stuff out. The other thing is we've got the EV cable that was already in, so because obviously the basket wasn't there, that was clipped down underneath and then went up that way, so I've pulled it all back, and now we're going to incorporate that into the basket as well. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, the way that we've done this is we've put in occasionally some zip ties and made sort of hoops all the way around, creating a little bit of a service void to put all the cables through, and the intention is that it's not so prevalent, check me out, big word, down here, because this lower section is going to be for your data, network and all the rest of it. That's going to be down in the bottom section, and then we're going to use the zip ties to keep everything separated, and then we can put, occasionally we'll put in a metal zip tie on here just to stop anything falling down. I can't see that they would snap anytime soon, but we've got the metal zip ties, they are there. So we may as well use them. So what we're doing now is starting to tidy up where we can, clip these off and rattle our way through. The insulation, I'd just like to point out, it's been an absolute horrible process. It is, I've been working mega hard here, like mega hard. I've been doing sort of 12-hour shifts here to try and get stuff sorted so I can get back in their house, because the homeowner's not very well. And she's a long-time customer, and I take it very personally that she's not very well, and I'm trying my utmost to get her back in the house, get the house all done, so she can enjoy her home. So yes, so right, let's get this zip tied, get these cut back, just using, I think these are 300mm. Oh yes, they were 300mm zip ties. So a little top tip straight off the bat: when you're getting your zip tie bag, just cut them there in the middle. Don't cut them at the top, because if you cut them at the top and you do that, they all fall out. Cut them in the middle, you can throw them anywhere and they don't come out. So top tip number one, there you go. Okay, so all we're going to do, work our way through. We're going to cut the old one off. No, we're not going to throw that in the insulation, all right? I know what you're thinking. Cheeky. No, we're not. So we're going to band it up. Like so. Like I say, the further down we go, the heavier this is all going to get. So we're going to band it all up, make it neat, and then work our way through, tidying everything up. So you can already see, obviously we'll then come back and we'll do all the same on all the network stuff, but you can already see it's neater straight away rather than you're looking down there where it's just a spaghetti mess to a degree. So what I'll do, because you don't going to want to sit there and watch that for the whole time, we're going to get a bit of time lapse on, blast through that. It'll take me seconds for you, take me about 3 days. But yeah, so stay tuned and it'll be done. Ready? Okay, so we're down to this corner here, and then we're wrapped around, but I think you'll agree that's a whole lot better now of just doing the top row. They've got to sort out the bottom one, obviously, where it comes through. Now this bit here is the bit where I'm going to have to pull these up and just have them up to the top so they're not in contact with anything. And then this one again up here, because it was just the way that it was done. Like I say, being completely transparent with you, because it is an honest channel, you know, it is what it is. And then I think what I might do is, if I've still got the will to live, I think what I might do is try and zip tie some of this and then leave that for the engineers, if that's what they call them, for the alarm stuff, so they can sort all that lot out, because that is an absolute shocker in there. And probably when I come back they'll just throw it all on top of that, so that'll be a really massive winner. So we're at to that point, so I'm glad now that we've got this in. The Ultra EV, I think that's a better job getting that in there as well and all the way back. But you'll see what if I don't do this, what a mess it would be further down. Because if you look through here, see how much, oh, you probably can't see it at the top, but it's a bit of a mess. But somebody did message in the chat, because obviously the first video's already gone out about this when I was talking about doing the basket, and he said, I'm really sorry, I forgot obviously your name on here, but he did say that they're doing a bungalow rewire as we speak, and his apprentice actually said, oh, why don't we use basket? So I think that's you know, great minds and all that, but like I say, the jury's still out whether it's a better thing to do. So I'll let you know at the end of the video once we've done all this lot, and then you can tell me in the comments as well whether you think this is a good idea or a complete waste of money. So anyway, I've run out of zip ties, so I need to go back to the van now, and it's raining, and I'll tell you what, we'll go downstairs and I'll show you what the lads are doing. So hopefully it's all very, very pink down there. So we're just climbing down the loft now, but I'll show you, look, so this is what I was meaning. So the board is literally just down there. And at the minute, we're just throwing all the cables down into that space as we're tidying up as we're going, because this job has evolved and evolved and evolved, and there's more and more plaster that needs doing because bits are falling off the walls, and it's just a bit of a mess. Use your words, Mikey. Use your words. Big grown-up words. And I'm going to show you what it's like. Let's turn this light off. Saving battery and all that. So, Jack is there dancing for some reason. I don't know what he's doing. Weird. Oh my god, that's a back scrape. I just scraped my back on that. That's going to leave a mark. Shorty!
Break.
Break now.
Break time.
So, they've turned the room. Lou, Shawnee, Jack or Lars raving away, doing weird things as Jack does. So now I've got, what's this called, SBR? SBR, pink stuff. So all this is all on the walls for prep and all the rest of it. And I think Lou's had to chop some of the plaster off again because that was all falling off, wasn't it, Lou?
Yeah.
Blown, so that's all come off. We'll chop that off. That bit as well, so all had to come off. So there is a new door frame going in and door going to go in there Wednesday. That is what I've been told. Wednesday, that is happening. So the lads aren't going to be able to skim that wall, but they're going to have to skim the others. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and that's a big chunk of this one. So yeah, so sounds like it's break time. So I'm going to go and get some food down my neck, and then I'll see you in 2. So, like I said, I just ran out of some zip ties. So, as I said earlier on in the video, the best way, so this is a fresh bag, the best way to deal with these is if you slice through the centre, because that will make a massive difference when you're keeping them in the van. Well, I just keep these on a shelf in the van. So obviously doing that, and also when you're throwing them through to, you know, like Lewis or wherever, they're not all going to ping out. Best way, by far, doing that, for definite. So I'm going to get the rest of these all zip tied up, so all the way through, get all that sorted now down there, and then I'm going to work my way back and just zip tie all that coax and cat 6 and all the rest of it. And when we get down the bottom end, I shall let you know and show you basically the finished article. But what else have I got to do in this loft is I've got to put two floodlights up here, and there's sockets going up here, there's a smoke alarm going up here, there's loads of stuff. So what I might do is try and get as much done as up here as I can, and then I'm out of the way for everyone else because it's so busy downstairs. There's loads going on down there, which is great. And you might be able to hear a bit of a buzzing noise in the background. That's because we've got the decorators, like I say, at the bottom end. They've got some fancy gadgets, some sander with a dust extractor, which looks really cool. And I, even though I hate decorating and I don't do it, I kind of want one of those bits of kit. So we shall see. Okay, so I've zip tied up with the plastics all the way along. So they've now gone all the way down and then all the way back and then round and down that away. So here, what I've done, I've just zip tied these lot together just to try and neaten it up a little bit. And then there's all that all needs sorting out down there. So what I'm going to do as well is, like I mentioned earlier on, is going to use a few metal zip ties. It doesn't have to go anywhere near as strict as what it was. And I think what I'm going to do is put them round on a band. Tell you what, I'll show you. That's probably the best thing. I'll show you how to do it, because I don't want it to be too restrictive as well for the future. So obviously, if somebody else does want to put something else in, then they haven't got to then undo all those bands. They can still do it. Maybe do it that way. So basically, the gist of it is you're going to need, obviously, some metal zip ties. Try and put you down here. So you need some metal zip ties, and you're also going to need one of these nifty little tools. So that is what we use for the metal zip ties. Now, you can spend an absolute fortune on one of these, and I mean a fortune, but this one was just a cheap version off Amazon that I got. To be honest, I can't remember how much it was, but it was probably less than half the price of what I got quoted from the wholesaler. So that's what you're going to need, one of these. Actually, can't use these to do it properly. So let's get a little bit of a area where we can zoom you in. So hopefully you can see that all right. So what I'm going to do is, let's get that round there. I don't want it too baggy because obviously I want to make sure that it's all okay. Tell you what, if I do that way, you'll be able to see it with a tool better, I think. I mean, it's super organised as always in the channel. So I'm going to put that through like that, and this is where you're going to need the tools. So the idea is that it pulls on that wire, so you put it in the jaws. The old jaws of life, when you can get it in. And as you pull it, you can cut that off, and then that will keep that tight. So I can't quite work out my mind whether to do it like that or not. Yeah, so I'm going to put a couple of these in along the run down there. It's really all it's to do with is just do the fire eggs. Obviously, if there's a fire up here, that's in theory it's just going to drop down and sit onto that basket. But at least I know for me, I've put some in. So I'll probably put a few in, like one every metre or something like that. That'll be enough to go down there. And obviously in a fire situation up here, you're knackered anyway. It's just going to whip through. So I'll get those on. Like I say, the metal banding straps are great. They're really, really good. They're not as fast, and you might be thinking, why didn't I just do that straight away? But obviously I've gone through a lot of zip ties, and they're not the cheapest of things. So I'm just going to blast a few in, and then we'll be back. But yeah, you can pretty much see what we're trying to achieve on there. So rather than having this, and then over here, there's a big pile of stuff that I've cut out from this job. So some of the stuff that I've cut out and have discovered that was still in use, and I mean in use, is quite scary. So I'm going to get this done, and then we'll back in 2 seconds. All right, that's one, that's two. Ooh. Okay, so I've put some straps on. Now, obviously I know this bit just here. So this one, in theory, I don't need to do it because it's flat tray, fire happens, those cables aren't going to flap off the tray, is it? So, or the basket, sorry. But I put them in anyway, or whatever, when in town, you know, why not? So just going to show you a few of these bits that I've discovered. So what we had over there is we had some of the green goo. So one of the reasons why we're rewiring this is all to do with the green goo, breakdown of the installation and all the rest of it, and amongst other things. So this one was probably one of the worst that I discovered underneath. You seen that? So hopefully, look at that. So that was discovered underneath the insulation. So I haven't messed about with the tape or anything like that. See, this is the problem with tape. Look. So obviously over time, it just comes off. It loses its ability to stay in place and just comes off. So that was sitting there happily underneath all the insulation. A recipe for a fire, if ever I've seen one. Very, very lucky. So that's just probably one of the worst, I'd say, that I've seen on here. Other things, we had a few bits and bobs like this. So you would have seen from a previous thumbnail that we did, all to do with a load of junction boxes and all the rest of it over there. So we have got loads and loads of cables which are obviously affected by the green goo anyway, but also we have got, if you notice on here, we have got some twin here with no earthing leading out into various different places, and all the rest of it, different mains voltage, which is obviously the cable's not rated for the current rated for the lights that they were used for. They were all on the halogen downlights, which is great. Bits and bobs again, halogen downlights like this, and this is, I think it's 0.25, might even say it on here actually. Let's have a look. No, don't think so. Maybe a 0.75, let's say. Let's be generous. Again, all onto the halogens, main halogens lights. They're on there, and there is a load more. This is obviously more of it. Clay's, bless him, he got rid of a load of stuff the other day from up here. So yeah, so not great at all. So as you can see, so I know I made a joke earlier on about all the ends of the zip ties being thrown into the insulation. Obviously we won't do that. They're all down here ready to be collected or pushed into the side. No, oh really, they're just all collected up and all the rest of it. So we'll get rid of all those, put them all in one place, then bag it all up in one go. Try and get rid of a load of the rubbish. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is get on with getting things up here, like the lights got to come up. They've got to, so some of these old lights, you can see some of these bits here, they've all got to come back down because we don't need those anymore. So they're going to come down, so we'll get on with the two strip lights that are going to go up. Now, somebody mentioned in the comments on the previous video, all to do with that flue. So that flue there, saying that potentially has asbestos in it, and it probably has, answering the question, right? So there's various different degrees on asbestos and how dangerous it is. I wouldn't know, so don't quote me on whether that's a dangerous flue or not. It might be just a cement one, I don't know. And he got a valid point, and I get it. The thing is, I'm not touching that. I'm not brushing against it. I'm not going anywhere near it. So there's no reason for that to be disturbed, if that makes any sense, because it's highly unlikely that that's going to be in the atmosphere in here, and if it is, it'd be such a small amount that it's not really going to affect me. And as you see, I wear the mask all the time. But yeah, it's a good point though, because obviously if that was in place or had to come out of the way, then obviously just be mindful of what you're doing. But yeah, so thank you very much for your comment. It was great. Just obviously, hopefully that clears it up a little bit for you, why it's not really affecting me. So plan moving forward. So this is for my smoke alarm that's going to be coming up, I believe. So I believe that's my smoke alarm. Here we're going to put up a power supply, which is also going to take on the rear floodlight. So right at the back of the property, we put a rear floodlight in. So we're going to put a fuse spur up here as well. Then we're going to lead on from there to put a double socket, which will power up this tackle here, so all to do with like DVRs and all the rest of it. And then at this point, once we sort all this lot out, we're going to be going in and sorting out for somewhere around here the switch for the lights up here, and then that should be this bit sorted. But I'm glad now I haven't really got to mess about with the insulation, so that's the main thing. You may have noticed, you eagle-eyed viewers, you may have noticed there is a couple of coils of audio here, and now this is for a future plan. There's future to do with audio for ceiling and stuff. So there's actually cables dotted around all over the place up here, ready to go for like audio over the lounge as we speak. So yeah. So anyway, enough waffling. Let's go and get those lights and get some kit up here. I think I might bring a bin up here and start picking some of these bits off as we're going through. But yeah, but I've got to go sort of near that with the cable runs if I'm not careful. So, but yeah. Okay, so you can tell that was fun, clambering in and out of there. So I'm very fortunate in positions where we invest a lot of money in tools and equipment to make my life easier, and the lads' life easier. It's just something that we've always done. We've always gone, do you know what, we'll invest. So, like I say, with the stapler, that's been an absolute godsend. So we've got two versions. We've got the Milwaukee one and the DeWalt version one. Great bits of kit. The other thing is, obviously, I get sent stuff. Being completely transparent, I get sent stuff to try, should we say, right? So I only tell you about it when I actually rate it, if that makes any sense. So if I'd put my own hand in my pocket to buy it, is when you guys know about it. And that's just being honest. That's the way I always do it. I don't try and do it. I don't do it any other way. Any brand that comes and speaks to me, that's what I do. So I've just got to be transparent with you. Not that many people on here on YouTube are, but like I say, trying to keep it a real world channel. So one of the things that I will like to say, thank you very much to Snickers, and I will show you these brand new trousers that they have sent me. Now, anybody who's watched the channel, I've been wearing Snickers for nearly 20 years. So for anyone say, oh, I'm just all of a sudden, you know, promoting those, it's just a load of rubbish. Literally 20 years I've been wearing Snickers workwear, and now they've asked me to whether I'd like to try some of their new stuff, and yes, I gladly have. And they are amazing, really, really are amazing. Now I'll show you these. I'll jump down there and I'll show you these trousers, what they are. Okay, so I'll quickly show you these. So these are ridiculously stretchy, right? And like I say, I've had a blue pair directly before, but these are the latest version of that. So these are the 6271's full stretch trousers, right? Which are absolutely perfect for a job like this, where you're in amongst all the rafters. You've just seen there's absolutely tons and tons of rafters everywhere. They're just a game changer. They're so good. And I thought my last pair were good, but these ones are even better. I mean, you literally, I mean, deep lunge. Come on. I mean, that's worth a subscribe right there. I mean, they're just wicked, in fairness. Like I say, I just think they're a perfect trouser, really, for any Sparky or any other tradesman, for that matter, in fairness. Because they're just so comfortable, so comfy. They also, what I've also got is these boots. So these boots, these ones, they're made by Solid Gear. Again, thank you very much for sending these out to me. They have got, I'm going to call it a boa. So as I said in a previous video, my old boots were absolutely knackered, and I had them a long time. They stood the test of time, but they were absolutely knackered. And I wanted to try something different, because I don't think they have lasted as long as I'd hoped, being honest. They're great boots, great comfortable boots, but they're no longer waterproof because they've just basically had a battering. So these are what we're using right now. So these are made by Solid Gear, and what I find really cool about these is that you pop that forward, loosens off, straight off, no laces to faff about with. And so when you're going in and out of customers' houses, they're great. Pop that shut, turn them back up, good to go. Simple as that. So a huge thank you to Snickers Workwear and Solid Gear for sending me out a load of more kit. I've got loads more other stuff that I need to show you, but I don't want to get it out because it's too good to be scratching around in a loft like that. So if you're looking for some new workwear, go and give them a shout. Go and have a look, see what you can do. So back into the job in hand. So these downlights, these strip lights have got colour selectable switch on it here. So you have got white, cool white, or cold, don't know, whichever way that is, but I always stick them to white. Now, unfortunately, I've ran out of Earthshore, which is very frustrating, because of times like this where the camera falls over. It's a little bit frustrating because I've had to then go back downstairs to go and get some earth sleeving to put back into here. Now I know what you're thinking, oh boo-hoo, you've got a hard life, haven't you? But it is actually amazing how much time you save by using a product like Earthshore, you know, and then you get complacent because then you go, well, I don't need to carry sleeving anymore. But you do. So what we're going to do, going to get this up, this light done, and then we can get on with all the switching and all the rest of it. But so again, if you haven't checked out Doncaster Cables Earthshore, give it a whirl. They go all the way up to 6mm now, I believe, and it is a really, really good product. And what I like about it is that the outer sheathing's a little bit thicker than what, say, this is, and which is like, it's almost like the old school cable. It is, where it's just a little bit thicker to deal with, which means it should, in theory, be harder to break down over time. And you know, it's like, yeah, you pay for quality, you get a quality product, don't you? So one thing I've tended to do is on these lights there's a little connector here, which so that one there, if you can see with my fat head in the way, sometimes I forget to put that on and then I have to take the light back down. And then they should, this is awkward in the loft, like it's really awkward. Anyone who enjoys working in a loft, there's something wrong with you. So that's one down, one more to go. So these lights are made by, just so you know, they Ovis. Try and take out the light. There you go. Ovis, I think. Cuvis, I don't know, something like that. You'll get the gist of it. Probably how far I went and got the box, and I can show you then. Like I said, first time. It's Cuvis. See, never doubted me. Yeah, look, Cuvis. That's what lights are. In fairness, they're decent light. I've used them on quite a few projects recently, and they've been very good, very good. So can get this one lighted up. So the other thing about these is that you've got your push fit connectors as well, which makes life a lot easier. What I tend to do here is I will come back like that and give a bit more slack so they can go in. The reason behind that is I like to keep it a little bit more slack in there, because obviously if lights come in and these break or whatever, then you've got another option to you know move stuff about rather than having to pull it back and put a JB up there or something like that. So yeah, quite a decent setup. So if we'll get that on, then we're on to the switching. Okay, so light switch is on, which is there. And also that is for the floodlight, as I've mentioned earlier on, and then a socket up there, which will take care of those two sockets there. Yes, I have smashed that off. I know, I've got to sort it out. I'm going to take that off anyway. So I'm going to come out to the van because I need some bit of silicone. Because obviously the bottoms of these, so that one and that one just need a little bit of silicone around the bottom of them, just where the cable entry is, because they never really break out that well. Yes, I could have used the stuffing gland, but it just seems a little bit excessive up there. You will have noticed there we've got the smoke alarm in place, that is all on. I haven't pushed the base down on purpose, because as soon as I do, it starts draining down the battery, because obviously we're not going to be energising that circuit anytime soon, because we've still got a hell of a lot of plastering to do. So on that note, I'm going to show you where Lou's at right now, and then perhaps go into the bottom room where Phil, the decorator, and Phil and Will have been prepping as well. So who knows, we may be able to have a little sneak peek in there. Okay, so this is where Lou's on the finishing trowel, is it? Yeah, couple goes over it. Last little push over. So he's got these walls all done. Like I say, it's with plastering, for those of you who don't know anything about plastering, it's a timing game. So once it's on, there's a time window in between where you can finish up, and then you go over it and go over it and go over it. But then don't go over too much, because if you go over too much, it pulls all the bits to the top and it doesn't really work. So we will make a video at some stage on Lou doing just pure plastering, but there's loads of stuff at the minute. We're just a little bit busy. There is a second channel, the Mark II channel, that we're building, but I need time, and I don't really have much time at the minute. It was supposed to have been, I'll be honest with you, I was supposed to have done it already this month, launched, but that ain't happening. We're too busy at the minute, so you're going to have to wait for that one a little bit longer. In that video, in that channel, there'll be full instructional videos on stuff like that, like what Lou's doing right now. But anyway, that's where he's at for this. So we'll go down to the far end and then go out to the van. Sealed those up. It's just for me, I just prefer it just to make sure that it's all done and dusted. There's no gaps and stuff on there, because obviously that won't be great. I've got to start getting used to putting a rubbish bag in there, because it's a bit silly. So leading back to my original question at the very start of the video, right, is basket, sorry. Would I continue doing this? Now, I'm going to be honest, pros for it is it keeps everything organised, and you've got, like, I would call this like the centre spine of the entire house. The pros for it is that, and you've got a route running back to it all the time. Keeps it out the insulation, which is great, because obviously we don't want to keep all of that. You imagine all that mass of cable there in one place throughout all the insulation would be a bit of an issue. So I find that really good. You haven't then got to be having clip all the way. You can just do it as I've done, make some rings that you can just put all the way through, pull it all sorted. Time consuming, yes, it is time consuming, but I think overall, I think it's a better job. And I'd like to know in the comments whether you think it is as well. I mean, yes, can you be neater? You probably could be neater, yes, I agree. First time ever using basket, and I don't think that'll be the last. I think I'm going to continue to use that, especially in a bungalow situation like this. It's not expensive, really. It isn't that expensive for what it is and what you gain. So if you've enjoyed this video, like I say, do me a favour, make sure that you've subscribed to the channel and turn your notifications on, because then we will hopefully be continuing all the way through this rewire and filming every time that we're here, trying to get on with this as much as we can. And hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I will see you tomorrow.